Hello, welcome back to The Healer Within. I'm Amy, hypnotist, metaphysical healer, and host. I'm so glad you're here with me today, tuning in from wherever you are, taking this moment to step out of the collective noise and step into your own inner sanctuary. Today, we're bringing a sharper focus to a concept that deserves a much clearer lens. It is the distinction between merely calming the mind and completely expanding it. If you look around mainstream wellness spaces, meditation is everywhere. And almost always, it's framed as a transactional tool for stress relief. We're told to sit quietly, observe our thoughts, and find a sense of calm so we can just cope with the friction of our daily routines. Those benefits are necessary first steps. In a world moving at a frantic, exhausting pace, finding a moment of peace, it matters. But traditional mindfulness is merely the front porch of a massive, luminous state. It shields you from the rain for a moment, but it is not the final destination. Mystical meditation begins where standard stress relief meditation leaves off. To understand why this distinction is critical, we have to look at the biology of perception. Most people operate from a state of chronic survival. The primitive mind, the reptilian brain, and the amygdala is constantly running in the background, scanning for threats and keeping the nervous system locked on high alert. Think about your average week. The constant digital pings, the endless productivity loops, the underlying anxiety of just keeping up. To your biological body, that chronic static feels like an existential threat. Your nervous system reacts just as if you are being chased. And here is the absolute truth of the matter. You cannot access higher wisdom when your biology thinks it is running for its life. When you sit down to do traditional meditation while locked in that survival state, you're essentially trying to force a frantic mind to be quiet. You might achieve a few minutes of temporary relaxation, but the moment you open your eyes, the defensive, protective walls of the ego snap right back into place. Mystical meditation approaches the inner landscape from an entirely different posture. It is not about forcing the mind to be empty or clear. It's about expanding consciousness so wide that the everyday ego naturally loses its grip. When we step into this practice, our first move is a deliberate, active, psychological, and energetic recalibration. We don't just wait for calm to happen. We use specific focal points to intentionally soothe the nervous system, signaling to the primitive survival mind that it is safe to finally step aside. When that survival static clears, your brainwave state begins to shift. You move out of the frantic beta waves of daily stress and drop into alpha and theta states. This is where the doorway to the subconscious swings open. This isn't just relaxation. This is a sacred reset where we clear old programming, ground your baseline energy, and prepare the soil for deeper work. Once the mind is stable and the nervous system is resilient, the practice evolves from a therapeutic reset into a profound spiritual alchemy. This is a space where we begin refining your non ordinary senses, your clairvoyance, clairaudience, and your ability to track subtle energy. This foundational stability is exactly where true mediumship unfoldment begins. As I explored in my book, Whispers Beyond the Veil, stepping past the physical veil requires a deliberate shift in your energetic posture. It demands that you build real spiritual stamina. In advanced development, we practice deep foundational disciplines like sitting in the power. This is not about visualizing a peaceful backdrop or listening to gentle music. It is an active blending of your own energy with the divine spark within you. It is a state of intense, receptive stillness. We couple this with the listening prayer. Most of our lives, when we pray or manifest, we are simply asking. We are sending demands and requests out to the universe. But the listening prayer reverses that posture. It is a state where you are no longer asking for anything at all. You are simply listening for the subtle echoes of the unseen, holding a conscious, open space. When you sit in that frequency, the boundary between the physical and the spirit worlds begin to dissolve. You aren't just managing your thoughts anymore. You are actively reading the subtle currents of energy that dictate physical reality. This deeper immersion completely dissolves the illusion of separation. You stop just thinking about spirituality and you start experiencing it. You anchor yourself in the direct live reality that you are woven into the fabric of a living, intelligent universe. It turns what used to be fleeting mystical glimpses into a permanent, accessible state of higher awareness that stays with you when you open your eyes and walk through your daily life. Mystical meditation reminds us that we are multidimensional beings. It invites you to stop merely managing your stress and start exploring the vast, uncharted territory of your own soul. The quiet mind is just the beginning. What lies beyond the boundary is waiting. If you know you are ready to step off the porch and explore these deeper dimensions of consciousness, the next steps are right below this episode. In the show notes, I placed a link to a blog post that dives much deeper into the mechanics of this shift, giving you a full breakdown of the layers of consciousness we touched on today. And if you are local to me here in Snohomish County, Washington, I invite you to join us in person. Below, you'll find a link to my website, sensoriumhypnosis.com, and a link to secure your spot in our local mystical meditation group. There is an undeniable power when we gather in a physical space, combining our intentions and sitting in the power as a community. Whether you are seeking to quiet the internal chaos, refine your spiritual gifts, or safely expand your higher consciousness, the doorway is now open. Thank you for sharing your time and your energy with me today on the Healer Within podcast. Until next time, keep listening to the stillness, trust your non-ordinary senses, and remember that what lies beyond is always reaching back to you. Be well, my friends. Be well.